welcome to the final day of Ether raids for this light season. We are taking on a particularly strong defense here, at least against me. I don't really have anything set up to deal with something like this, primarily because of everything that's going on, which is a lot. There is a lot going on here. This is a well-constructed defense in terms of the unit choices. The feud effects, which I guess you could probably substitute with Embla, but Veronica here is overall a better. What was the word better?
Let's set off.
You're more likely to get more damage out of this Veronica than you are to get out of Embla. So there's a, there's some give and take there. But yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do with this team. Honestly, this is just so much for me to think about that I don't even think, because to get up there, I'm gonna have to, do some shenanigans, some reposition and some swaps, and it's a lot of work. And then to get back, it's also a lot. The thing that's really hindering me on this map is the positioning of the fortress. That's a really good spot to put the fortress. I typically put it on the other side in the corner in the first lane. But this is also a good spot to put the fortress as well, because it stops your cav advances and you have to go around the side, which is a lot further and a little bit more awkward to maneuver around. So in terms of map construction, that is an impeccable design choice right there. Very well done. I think what I'm going to end up going for is I'm going to see if Bridget could live with the miracle here. It's going to be interesting to see how the feud effect interacts with the miracle that Bridget has in her B slot, I think. Because it's supposed to be like a two if unit initiates, and then also if unit is within 2 spaces of a unit, then miracle. But then I don't know if the feud effect will turn that off. I think it might. In hindsight, I'm probably thinking I probably should have went with Erika here, but the thing is, Erika probably wouldn't have soloed this Veronica, just because of how much defense she has and the defense stack in combat. It's just a lot to break through. So might not have been a win, but probably not a loss at the very least, because it's just one hit, and then I get full no follow up and all that good stuff. But then the problem would have been the follow up turn in terms of the positioning of the units, because Micaiah is going to move here, and she's going to be able to potentially snipe someone because she has a 3 movement. And then also, I don't know what Neathhogger is going to do, because if she warps down, then that means that everyone is covered by far save. So it doesn't put me in the best position to then follow up and complete the map. So I figured this was probably the best option, because Bridget, if it pans out, then Bridget can pretty much snipe everything that's there. But I really have to be able to get them to move first, so that I can get someone out of position and get the defense moving, and then I can start to snipe from there. But yeah, let's see what happens. Not very confident in terms of this working, but I don't have another strategy, so not much else that I can potentially do here. Also because the barricade effect is essentially just stopping me from being able to warp, and that's really what I wanted to do, or I would have done if I was going to use the Edelgard team, which I think would have been able to handle this fairly well. Edelgard would have been able to take out the majority of the units here, and then I could probably try to figure out what to do with Neathhogger as the last unit. I think that would have been fine. But then also, I would have needed to take her out so that Golvik could get in. So maybe no. I don't know. Yeah, but I think it would have been at least an option that I could have played around, getting Winter Edelgard into there. I think it may have worked out in my favor, but Bridget it is. I realize that all of my teams are pretty much the same thing, Bernie and Ninjurin here, and I kind of want to switch things around for next light season if I can, or I most likely will be able to. It's just what units do I use? I think I'm leaning more towards keeping the Tina team. The Tina team as the one that I use in Bernadetta, because I feel like that has just the potential of inflicting flash is highly beneficial to being able to clear enemy maps, and I feel like that's probably a better one to keep. I mean, I could potentially just wait the 3 turns to get Fallen Maria in, but the reason I have the other team with Fallen Maria already set up is because in situations where I don't have the 3 turns, and it's good to just have Fallen Maria there. But I don't know, maybe I'll put up another team with Fallen Maria on it that's just completely different, that will do something else, because I feel like all of my teams are currently the same, which is not great. But as you can see, we got sniped by Veronica and we lose, so that's that. Also, the combat animations were off. Yeah, forgot that Loretha was going to do his tree man thing, and
Agreed.
Probably should have moved Triandra. Maybe that would have worked out in my favor. Maybe not. We're not going to be able to find out anymore. It's too late. It just didn't pan out that way. Neathhogger's movement is interesting at the very least. Probably could have, done some damage if, unit didn't die, but it's too late now. So yeah, GG's. Let's play another one. This was a tough one. Okay, here's another match for the as we attempt to close out the week. This one is also a bit challenging in terms of just the unit choices as well as getting up there. Yeah, the warp bubble is just a real menace, man. It's really annoying. Alongside, just how many emblem effects are in the game currently, particularly the lane ring on defense. It's a little bit tricky to deal with, especially when you're trying to pin a unit, or the Celica ring also when you're trying to pin a unit. Makes it a little bit challenging. I think you just saw yesterday where I had to forego a pot because Yoon had the Celica ring and it was just not working out in my favor. I couldn't pin her, so that was the reason for that. But yeah, things are getting a little bit more challenging, or at least interesting, I want to say, on defense in terms of playing into it, which is a good thing. Defense does need, tools to be competitive. It's currently not in the greatest spot. Kind of like, giving me just memories of
Where shall I go?
Grand Conquest. I ended up quick simming, auto battling quite a few of the matches for Grand Conquest, just because it's just not as challenging as it used to be because of how strong the units that we currently have in the game are, which is unfortunate. I really, used to enjoy playing the matches manually, but then
What should I do?
power creep has taken that away from me. I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this sentiment, but
I will try.
yeah, Grand Conquest just isn't as fun anymore. Maybe, there are people out there that are not as expansive or don't have the same amount of stuff in their barracks that I have, but it's kind of it's not as challenging as it used to be. I used to go into Grand Conquest with Guinevere and duo, that's really when it started to go bad. Duo dagger, being able to get across the map in one turn was kind of crazy, which is just the norm these days. I was pretty much clearing everything with Sigurd and Celica ring emblem Ike, and that was pretty much GG's automatic win for me. So yeah, not the most entertaining content from Grand Conquest in this last run, I want to say, even though for some reason we still got battered quite a bit, but it is what it is. Erika doing her job, at least we can depend on that. It also transitions me to Emblem Ike. I've been doing some testing with him in summoner duels just to figure out what he is as a unit and how he'll perform in Aether raids, without having to waste a blessing, because I'm still 50-50 between foddering him and keeping him. So just doing some testing in summoner duels, and he seems, I don't know, he seems a bit iffy. He's not doing what I want him to do, but then at the same time, neither is Tamara, and Erika needs a really strong supporting cast to actually work, so I probably wouldn't bring her into SD either. So yeah, not quite sure what to make of this Desert Ike just yet.
I will try.
Probably want to play a couple more matches before I give a final verdict on him, but he seems I don't know. Maybe it's the support team that I have around him. I'm looking at Hector. I'm looking at Haythrun, the New Year's version, and then there's Baby Robin and one other unit I forget. That comprises the team, and the team doesn't really feel that cohesive. I feel like there's something missing. I feel like also with the captain skill that gives assigned decoy in rotation, it's probably the best time to run like Omni tanks again. For the captain. So that's probably something that people will do. You just have to ban Larather and then figure out the rest of the teams from there. More than likely, you're going to be seeing one or two or both Neathhoggers on the same team. Yeah, you're definitely going to be seeing Neathhogger at least. But I feel like, Tree Man aside, who is probably the worst thing for Summoner Duels, if you come across him, he just causes so much chaos in terms of just trying to figure out what's going where and how do you deal with it. I mean, you can plan around it, but it really takes a lot of energy mentally to figure out exactly what's going on when Tree Man comes to play. But yeah, I feel like Ike is, I don't know, he's
I will try. What now?
a unit, I want to say. Probably with merges, he performs better, more than likely, but unmerged, uninvested, minus HP, he's not very convincing currently. I'm just trying to put in some work with him and get him to do stuff, but so far, not so great, especially when you try to attack with him and he has to be away from his support team. He just doesn't perform that great. I want to say that it's probably down to the bonus doubler A skill, the distant bonus doubler, and if I gave him like Excel or something, he'd probably do better with that, but it's expensive fodder that I would potentially rather hold on to than to give it to Emblem Ike. I don't know, maybe it's just, again, a me thing, but I feel like he's a little bit better than Tamara, but still not that great, because Tamara, I'm hitting a ton of zeros with Tamara in Summoner Duels, and also just missing kills because she's not getting her special proc. I was failing to kill a whatever that new healer is on the most recent banner. I was failing to take her out with Tamara because Tamara was not proccing her special, and also Tamara was hitting zeros, so Summoner Duels is definitely a game mode, man. It's very interesting. You come across some really unique builds and team compositions that really slow you down and throw you for a loop. That being said, I really like the new what's her name? I really like the new Marissa in Summoner Duels. I think she's really, really good there. I'm looking to see how she plays into Ether 8's offense or defense. I think that should be fairly interesting to see. I think I mentioned that before, but yeah, she's a good unit. Definitely a good unit. And yeah, I think I'm going to keep making my Summoner Duels teams for this week because I think we should be getting SDS soon. So I'm just going to keep doing that and see where that leads me. What that leads me to, because the meta has shifted quite a bit. Fjorm is pretty much done in SD unless she's heavily supported, and I'm seeing quite a few Lins take out Neathhogger as well, red Neathhogger. So yeah, it's really a wild place. But GG's, that's our last match for the week. I'm gonna do the defense replays later.